What's going on, guys? Welcome back to our Life Out Loud podcast. And this episode is What We Know Now. And I'm excited.
Yeah. I mean, the last three episodes kind of come to a conclusion here, but like kind of wrapping up what the last three meant and how we got to this point and everything that we've learned, everything that we went through, everything we've endured, and kind of just bringing it to a close here.
Yeah.
Maybe, but we'll see what happens. But like I said, I think, you know, the last three episodes set this up perfectly. And I think this episode is probably the most important one.
For sure.
Because when you talk about healing, what we've learned, none of that matters if we don't take those lessons and learn from them. You know what I mean?
Right. And this is going to be, we would love to, once we put out our podcast, we would love some feedback so we could maybe continue this and get, some questions or whatever you guys are going through, or maybe we can carry this on for you guys.
There's some ideas out there.
Yeah. Oh, there are?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So this is, this one's big for me. Again, they all kind of are, but this one closes us out because redemption is huge for me. Forgiveness is huge, and not altering who I am ever based off of what I've been through and the challenges I've gone through.
Right.
To remain steadfast and humble and continue to love, because why let somebody change you?
No, you should never change. You should never minimize who you are. And with that being said, like through all of this, what lessons, good or bad, have you learned throughout, your adult life and relationships? Yeah.
So forgiveness is big, right? I believe in forgiveness. I believe that you can forgive people. But the thing is, when it comes to that is you really have to work it in making those changes. And I'm so sick. Like, I really can't stand. It's one of my biggest things. Like, if I'm going to forgive you and you're not going to put anything in motion, does that not like kill me or hurt me even more?
Right.
So I do believe in redemption. I have, I'm very faith-based, so that keeps my heart like faithful to that. And I'm true to that. But like, I believe that you have to put in the work. You have to make the changes. And if you're not ready to do it with that person, or you want to do it at your own pace, then that's fine. But, you have to be true to yourself in that aspect for sure. Yeah.
For me, I would say the two major relationships that I had as an adult, like real relationships, I think I wasn't as invested in trying to learn my partner over and over and over again, because I think that's truly what matters. And it's kind of like the analogy where like it's more expensive to repair a relationship than to maintain one. So if you're putting in the work day in and day out and pouring into each other and really committing to that relationship where it doesn't get to the point where you have to fix something completely broken,
right? I
think you find that it's easier. And I don't think I was that person. I think I learned a lot, and my previous relationships really opened my eyes up like, hey, you too have to work on stuff, and you too have to commit to growing together and commit to building what you want together.
Yeah, guys, like he just said, like it's really it's a two-way street. It's both people. Like say Pete and I are dating and you did something wrong. It's my job to work on it too, right? Because it's not, I feel like so many people are so fixated on pointing the finger. That does not work. Pete did something wrong. I can't be like you.
Right. Well, it's like if we're a team, right? And we're in an argument and you win the argument and I lose, or I win the argument and you lose, at the end of the day, we both lose.
Yeah.
Because we are a team. We have to face that together. Right. And a lot of times that's the misconception of
because it's always winning and losing. It's not. If you're on the same team, why are you trying to fight against your partner? You're on the same team.
It comes down to like values. Like I think what we're valuing in today's generation, unfortunately, is not what it was like, where I feel like I come from. A lot of people today don't value people. What do they value? They value likes. They value TikTok. They value reels. They value followers. That stuff does not fill who you are.
Right.
You lose your sense of self-worth when you start valuing things like that over the people who love you the most.
Yeah. So I have a question. So do you believe in, and it's funny because Pete and I both have our children here with us. They're in the background and watching us, which is super powerful, right?
Oh, it's the reason why I'm doing this, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you believe that it's like you and your spouse or partner and then the children, or do you believe the other way around?
As far as prioritizing, right? I think if you have somebody as your partner, you should place them first because you are the role model. You are the example for your children. And that's, like I said before, doing this was kind of the reason, like my daughter is the reason why I'm kind of putting it out there for two reasons. One, I had a lot of things that I had to fix as an individual. I had to address a lot of things personally. But two, I want to let my daughter know what it's like to be valued, what it's like to respect somebody, how to be treated as a woman, your son, how to be treated as a man. Those things are important because if you set that example now and
set that tone,
they hold themselves to a standard, they won't mistreat somebody 10 years from now, 15 years from now. They'll know how to be treated. They'll know what respect looks like. And for me, you know, not to get emotional about it, but as a single father, to me, that's important. My daughter will never go a day without knowing that she's loved or valued.
Of course,
you know?
Of course. And I think I asked him that because, you know, we have our audience, which is probably going to be a lot of parents, right? And I feel like, you know, we didn't really touch on this at all, but a lot of parents view the children come first. And I think that, yeah, it's great, right? They really kind of do. But like, I think your relationship has to be prioritized ahead of the children. Again, Pete and I are not with our children's parent, right? So then that's really hard for us, right?
Of course.
To prioritize like a woman that isn't Savvy's mom or me prioritize a man that's not Graham's dad, right? So then we're in a deficit already with mentally.
For sure.
You know, but I think that you guys have to realize that it is so important to prioritize your relationship. And I asked that about the kids because it goes back to just prioritizing your relationship regardless, whether it's suffering, the kids, all of that. So...
which goes to like what we now require in relationships.
Yeah.
And yes, prioritizing them, but what do you require as an individual in a relationship to make sure that it's successful?
So there's so many things, right? But like, I really I'm corny. I'm super corny.
It's okay to be corny too, honestly.
I'm super corny. I like to share notes. I like to sharing notes is like a big one for me because sometimes like the texting or if I'm emotional about something or if I want to pray for that person, sometimes it's a lot, you know, whether it's in the morning or every day in our lives. So I like to prioritize sharing notes. I like to pray over my person. I like to, you know, send a prayer, whether it's text. I'm big on that.
Which is faith is important too, especially if that's a part of your life like that. It's important.
So like my partner is definitely faith-based a little bit, but it's weird for him to like hear me, right? Or dive into that. Like, you know, he used to go to church, he was Catholic or whatever when growing up, but you know, the level of faith that I have is different. So it's uncomfortable a little bit.
But that's okay. Being uncomfortable is what challenges you. Right. It actually brings out the best in people because if your partner's not challenging you or making you feel uncomfortable, then how are you possibly growing?
It is. You know? And he has come to church and it's uncomfortable, right? But it's like, it's uncomfortable because it's challenging and it's oof, you know? So that's a big one. And I feel like weekly date nights or date something, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can be a walk or whatever. The prioritizing that is super important. And weekly check-ins, sitting down for an hour, just the two of us, right? Me and him or you and whoever. It's so important to just be like, what are you feeling?
Right.
You know, I don't think you have to say every time your feelings aren't feeling mad or whatever. I don't think you have to talk about that every time. But I think
it can get exhausting.
Because it can get exhausting.
Yeah.
I'm super busy. He's very busy. I don't need to like hear about something that, you know, like right away. But a weekly check-in is good to do because I feel like it's important.
Of course. And that's time away from the phone, no distractions, nothing that's going to draw your attention away from each other because in a busy life like you have and I have, that quality time and that intentional time, we'll call it, is super important. It's just to recalibrate where your relationship's at. within that week. You know,
it is. And if you aren't there mentally, it's corny, it's annoying, it's weird, and it's uncomfortable for those people.
Right.
Right. But like, I don't really care.
All right. With that being said,
I don't really
what
care.
what will you ever tolerate again in a relationship?
I will liars. I just like, I cannot tolerate lies. White lies, little lies. Lying to me is like just an absolute non-negotiable.
I know.
When I find out you're like you lie about the silliest things,
Mhm.
like it's just like, it's not okay. It's just, it's absolutely unacceptable.
It's not, there's no reason
There's
for it.
no reason for it. You're lying because you don't like what you're doing. You don't like what you did.
You're trying to recreate history. You're trying to project the future.
You're projecting an image,
Right.
confusing the hell out of me.
Like for me, those two questions I asked you, I think I tried to think about one word that would be what I require in a relationship and what I won't tolerate anymore. And the one word would be value. Because in a relationship, what I do require is I required to be valued, right?
Yeah.
Not the easy parts of me. I want you to value who I am.
I love
and
that's a big one
it
for
would
me
be
too.
very easy for you to value, for my partner to value the easy parts because it didn't require what? It didn't require them to put in any effort. It didn't require them to be held to any standard or boundaries or accountability.
That's
and
huge.
what happens is like, when it's no longer convenient, how do they respond to that? Do they run? Do they flee? Do they get frustrated? Because when it's no longer convenient for them, now they feel like they need space. Now they feel like they need to do all this stuff. And I'm in a position where if you don't value who I am as a person, and not just the easy parts of me, then I don't want any part of that.
Well, right. Because the value part really goes big on to like your beliefs and like what you're trying to do here, what your purpose in this relationship, in this life. And it's like, if you're not aligning with me there,
right?
Why am I dimming my light? So that's big for me too.
The wild thing is like when it comes to value, people create doormats out of somebody who would have laid the red carpet out for them.
So true.
Through lies, through manipulation, through devaluing who that person is. And none of that has to happen, And back to your point, like those check-ins and those weekly, I don't want to call them like, because it doesn't have to be structured, but like the time you put apart for each other and set aside for each other is so important. To ensure that you're on the same page to grow.
Communication is another big one for me. It really is. Like I ain't messing with you if you can't communicate. I'm sorry. And it's very hard for men, but like you have to try. And if you're going to tell me I'm not good at it, I'm not good about talking about, oh, wow, you're going to figure it out.
Well, see,
you're going to
try. I'm the opposite.
What?
People tell me you
over-communicate.
Why are you so, I heard this the other day, why are you so preachy? It's not about preachy. It's like,
who said that?
It's not about that. It's about like sharing what I'm going through.
I wonder what that person feels about me.
To understand like where we are in a relationship or a friendship or a partnership. Like it's not just because I'm posting something doesn't necessarily mean it's about me or what I'm going through. It's probably something that I might have been through
a little bit.
And when I'm trying to communicate,
when it relates to us, then
when I'm trying to communicate, it's just. It's a basic form of respect and trust and everything that we're building here.
Person, you're making them feel uncomfortable. That's all that is.
Oh, well then, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Unapologetically.
Well, I say that facetiously because I'm not going to change for anybody, And yes, there's times where you have to dial it back and sit in patience and peace and silence.
Of course.
To maybe realign where you should be and what you're trying to get across. Because sometimes people don't respond to a certain type of communication. And I think understanding that too is important.
You have to be patient.
Yeah.
People, you have to, and that's why the notes thing is cool for me and works, Yeah, you have to be patient. You can't, everybody's here at their own pace too.
Sure.
We can't be like, that goes with like a control factor. And if you're that kind of person and you're trying to control the other person and how you want their response to be, that's inappropriate.
Oh,
It's super inappropriate. And I feel like a lot of people lead their life that way. If they're not getting what they want, then that other person is a horrible person, or that other person's doing it wrong, or that other person is, no, that's not true either. We're all doing it, and we can work on it, right? But we're all here at our own pace. Be patient to the other person as well. Give them grace.
Right. Give them grace. And I think that's
We're all different. We're all wired different.
Right.
We all operate. We all are cut from sometimes the same cloth, sometimes the different. We all, just trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
So
I think that's day in and day out. We're trying to figure that out, and I challenge myself to be a better person every day. And sometimes when the challenge is the most is like when trust has been broken, or when you're trying to rebuild that trust, which I think it is super important in understanding. All right, where did the breakdown happen? How do we fix it? Can we fix it? And where do we go from here once trust is broken?
How do you rebuild trust? Like, what does that look like for you?
I think
if somebody breaks the trust, right, and now you have to trust back, is it something you feel like you have to work on too, or it's just them?
No, I think it's a two-way thing.
Right.
I think as an individual, if I've lost your trust or there's a breakdown somewhere, I think for me, what helps fix that is consistency. And consistency isn't a preference. It's kind of a requirement to build back that safety, the security, because to rebuild trust could take a long time.
Right.
Because you're always going to go back to that very moment where it was lost, and you're going to harp on that.
Okay, so is that the person's, like you, right? Is that something you have to work on? Or is this when the consistency isn't there?
When the consistency is not there and the trust is broken,
happens,
right?
Then it brings us back,
correct,
to square one of spiraling.
Yeah, and I think that's the toughest part is recognizing in your healing process, where are you? Because it takes a very grounded person to accept the fact that a trust was broken and be willing to allow that person to show, okay, listen, I made a mistake. I do not want this to happen again. And that's why I bring up consistency, because patterns will show you exactly what you need to see.
1,000%.
And if their pattern is, here I am, I'm showing up for you, I'm making a change deliberately, and I want this to work, rather than, I'm sorry, it won't happen again, but no change.
Right.
Save the performance for Broadway. I don't need it. Have a nice day. That's kind of where I'm at. And rebuilding trust is something that I offer a lot of people an opportunity to do, because I too once made mistakes, and, it happens.
You understand.
And I understand. But I think more importantly is, where do you go from there? How do you rebuild it? And for me, it's, you have to show me through consistency that you want to work on this and you want to fix it. That's just where it's at, because men move differently. Like, I'm going to tell you, when a man is in love, right? And I think that's it. This is the perfect way to kind of correlate it, is when a man is in love, he would do anything for his woman, because we are protectors, we are providers. You'll know when a man is in love, because if he's affording you the opportunity to show you all of this stuff, he's not just giving up on it. It's really something special when a man is like, I'm willing to take all these hits, not to a detrimental to himself, not to the point where he's forgetting who he is.
Abused,
right? But saying, I forgive you because I love you, and we can work on this.
Yeah.
And sometimes
forgiveness and
women forget
redemption
that.
is possible, but you cannot get, like, don't ever allow somebody to, like, just take shots at you over and over and over again and abuse you and manipulate you, that you're this horrible person. Like, there's a safe way to heal and rebuild. Yeah,
the misconception too is that relationships are easy. It's men don't require fireworks. Like, I'm the most simple person when it comes to that. I don't need my relationship to have fireworks all day long, posting everything like everything's perfect on Instagram. What I need is a flame that's not going to blow out when the wind blows.
Yeah.
I need something that's going to be consistent, steady, and provide light throughout the duration of it. Because at the end of the day, a fireworks show ends.
Yeah, for sure.
And you got to wait, another year for another one because it's 4th of July or another event? No, I would rather have that flame that is lit constantly than the super highs and then it's gone.
Yeah, that's like an addiction almost.
Oh, it's I've been there.
It's the dopamine hit.
I've been there, Sarah. I've been there, and it's scary. It's like, how did I find myself chasing something when in reality I'm the most simple person?
Yeah, you are.
Who wants the same in return. And I know we talked about this in a previous episode. Our love doesn't have to meet like that. It can be like this. Right. It doesn't, you don't have to love me as much as I love you. Not the way it works. But I think valuing a person, respecting them, and understanding through communication, that's how it is successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And I think, I think people do feel like it has to be fireworks all the time. And I just think it's like, is it calm? Is it peaceful? Is it like, are things like everyday flowing? I think that's the important, valuable part of our relationship.
So where do you think like you're at in your, 'cause I could probably pinpoint where I'm at in your healing, because I think healing is a consistent thing. And I think once you think you're healed, that means you're not working on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you at over the last, let's call it 2 years or whatever you want to put on it? Where are you at in your healing journey? Like what?
Like as far as relationships, meaning like obviously,
yeah.
I feel like I'm able to control my emotions better.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me has been huge and super important for me. Because I'm like, I'm an over communicator. I'm a little like, I can go fly off the handle real quick, you know, like when I'm hurt and stuff, I've really healed on like emotionally, like fixing whatever is going on. The trauma that I'm like a fight or flight. I'm like a fixer. I was a little bit of a control person. When I can't control something, I just want to, I'll call, text, show up.
I'm the same way.
You know, like a lunatic.
I'm the same way.
So I have been able to control like whatever's going on, you know, and like be able to be like, all right, like now's not the time. Or, you know, like give it a couple of days. Like before or years ago when I was growing up, should I say, I had to know like now, like the anxiety
that's
of
how I was.
Yeah.
I still am, can be that way. But
same.
For me, it was always the fear of, if I don't get the answer now, what is going to happen?
Yeah, like I would like leave work. I don't care. I got to fix this now. Like, you know.
And for me, and I think I'm definitely still in this process, like healing process, is understanding that not everything is meant for you in a sense.
Right.
You don't have to chase true love down, because true love will show up when true love is supposed to show up. Right. And I think that's the biggest thing. And like I said before, like I want my daughter to understand that you don't have to put yourself in a position where you're compromising who you are, your values, your integrity. And it's important to not lose yourself through that healing process.
Right. And even in that moment, like I could easily lose myself in that moment because something happened or whatever. And it's like, you know, being able to control yourself in that moment is huge. The overall picture is huge.
Yeah, because that moment, could affect everything. Oh, literally. It can project the entire way your relationship is repaired or broken. Right. You know, and I truly believe that as like you and I are kind of similar in that sense, where if you're reacting off of pure emotion and not taking that second, you could be causing more harm to the situation than not. But on the flip side, you got to have somebody who's like,
oh, there's the flip side for sure.
Like you got to talk.
Right. You can't just like hang up on me. I'm big on that. Like don't
correct.
Up on me.
That's like a 12-year-old move.
Yes.
Like,
don't not answer me.
Right.
Like, so it has to be reciprocated. Like you have, like, I've healed to the point where I need a partner to like, you know, or just say like, hey, I can't talk right now. I really want to talk about this, but you know, we got to wait till later or whatever, you know, and vice versa. Like I'll be able to say that because sometimes I'm not ready either.
Right. I think it's choosing yourself every single day when you wake up. I'm going to put myself first.
Yep.
I'm going to make sure that I love who I am first. That way I can accept the love from somebody else. And I can also share love with my children, with my partner, with my relationships. And I'm not afraid to do that in a sense where a lot of people have a hard time accepting love because they're afraid that it's going to be broken because of what happened to them in the past. And when you talk about healing, I don't think it's ever a fully ended process. I think you're going to run into obstacles and hurdles that you're going to have to work on individually. Sometimes it's okay to talk to your partner about that. Sometimes you internalize it. But I've realized over the past, let's call it 2 years, that no matter how hard you love someone, if they don't have the capacity to love you back or to receive that love, it's because it's something with them. And for me, healing looked like I can't blame myself or I can't question myself as to why are you not accepting this? Why? How do I keep pouring? And it's like nothing's ever happening. And it's because something that's out of my control. And that's okay.
And that's okay.
That's literally okay.
And that goes back to, or that kind of piggies back of what I'm gonna say is you can't change somebody. Like you can't, like if somebody's done something to you or the relationship has been broken and you can't find that forgiveness or redemption, you have to stop. You're really only hurting yourself.
Correct. That's it.
That's
At the end of the day,
you're tormenting them. You're
Right.
tormenting yourself. Like, and it goes based off of that. Like, it's okay for things to just not work.
I know. And we chase closure and like.
You don't need it all the time.
You know what closure is? That it's happened right in front of you. You just have to realize that the door's been shut, and don't allow for that crack to open up just for them to hang out in your vestibule and like pretend that this is going somewhere.
Right.
And we don't always need that closure. We just need to accept that we are good enough, and it will happen.
That's it.
You know, it will happen for you.
Yeah, we had a little talk about that yesterday morning.
Of course,
you know,
that's
like
the most important.
We get to the age we're at, and we have children, and honestly, it's funny because me and my boyfriend said yesterday, like, let's just like reel it in. Like, summer's over. Let's family life. Like, you know, we don't want nothing but that. You know, like honestly, like all the other stuff I could care less about anymore. Like
it's prioritizing.
Yeah, and you get to our age and it's like, you don't want to be single. You don't want to be going out. You don't want to be going on Friday nights and Saturday nights. Like, all you want to do is be with your daughter and another person and hike and do
I want to cook you dinner.
Yeah,
I want to,
like
if you're my partner,
shit gets exhausting.
I want to build good habits around our daily life.
Exactly.
Good habits. The gym, healthy food, hikes, snowboarding trips, bringing Savvy to the amusement park. Things that align with who I am and what I'm looking for.
Exactly.
Not something that I have to force. And sometimes it's understanding that it's going to come. It's just,
and it gets
it's okay to be patient. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired sometimes.
It hurts.
Yeah, of course. And some people, and not to beat that down, but some people, it's therapy that fixes them. And I truly believe some people need therapy that haven't even given it a chance.
Right.
You know, I'm not afraid to sit here and admit that. You know, after my tour in Afghanistan, I did seek, not right away, but I did seek therapy. And it was really after my relationship with Nicole. It was like, I needed to talk to somebody to try to understand where I was at. So if that's something that, you know, is necessary, I wouldn't say force it on somebody, but maybe bring it up like, hey.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. I think that it's very important to, honestly, especially if you're blending a family, I think it's important to do therapy as a couple, even when nothing's wrong.
Even as a proactive thing, right?
A proactive thing.
Yes,
Me and
There's nothing
Joe talk about that all the time. Like, let's go to therapy
about it.
Yeah, we're gonna blend families. Like, things are gonna get, you know, like
you have
tough.
to be proactive. I think going to therapy doesn't make you a weak person, and that's the misconception. And with all of that being said, and kind of why we're here also is like the mental health aspect. And, you know, I was on your podcast, you know, we talked about mental health. Relationships is one of the things that can drive you to do a lot of things that you may regret or may hurt you or somebody else. And, you know, it's okay to take a step back. It's okay to seek help. It's okay to go to therapy, and it's okay to re-find who you are. You know, it's okay to rediscover who you are as a person and where you want to go. Don't abandon yourself. Don't let it get to that point. But it's okay to refine who you are and recalibrate and restructure and put yourself in a better position to go forward.
And like, you guys might not find the right therapist right away. Keep working towards it and you know, don't give up on that if that's something that, because I've been there too. Like, I've been doing therapy my whole life, and sometimes that therapist or doctor doesn't align with, you know, what works for me. And, you know, so don't give up the first time you go.
No.
And I go back off of the church stuff. Like, that helps me, you guys. Like, every Sunday I try to, you know, the best I can get there. And it really helps me like recharge whatever's going on in my life. And for some reason, whatever I'm going through, that service
is like spot on.
Talking to me. Everyone's looking at me. It's dark. I'm lit.
Yeah. Which is awesome because you're opening yourself up. Like, here I am. Bang. Like, it's right in front of me. And you're like, wow, this message could not be any more perfect.
Like, dead on balls accurate.
Right. And if you're not a faith person, fine. But find something that provides that for you. Whether it be a podcast, whether it be a relationship with somebody, whether that be therapy. Something out there is going to align with you and help you through these hard times. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's like, and doing this podcast it's more about like what we can do to help you, but also how our experiences can bring light on some other people.
Yeah.
You know,
And as Pete was just saying, like with the mental health stuff, guys, it's so true that like if you can really close your eyes and think of like the worst times in your life when you were spiraling the worst, I guarantee it was based off of a relationship. Because I'll be honest,
1000%.
the lowest times of my life have been because of a breakup or something I'm going through. That's really where it takes me to the next like level of like not in a good place.
I know.
So
I'm excited to see if something comes after this episode.
Yeah.
There are some ideas out there that have been floated, but I think what we did here was kind of nice to put it out there, be vulnerable, especially for men. So, listen, if you look at this and you're like, oh, he's nuts for doing that. Listen, I'm not ashamed to get up here and talk about my feelings. I think it's important that more men do that, you know, and because every man is thinking it. I don't care what you're saying. Every man, when he lays down at night, is like, I am a protector, I'm a provider, and I too have feelings, you know?
Yep.
That's just what it comes down to. And life out loud, healing out loud, what we now know, I think this episode was super important for what you and I need, but what the audience needs to redeem themselves. Yeah. To bring themselves back to where they should be, to feel like who they are again, you know?
Read the quote because my phone keeps shutting
so
on.
At the end, like at the end of every episode, Sarah came up with these great quotes. And this one is, the healed version of me loves slower, chooses wiser, and still believes in love, but not at the cost of myself. So we leave you with that. Think about that. And we're so thankful and grateful that you guys joined us through these 4 episodes. We look forward to maybe joining you with a 5th. But thank you, Sarah. This has been awesome. Life Out Loud, episode 4, Healing Out Loud. We hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy your week, guys.
Yes. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.